So if you want to learn Blender and you want to start your 3D career, this is perfect course for you, because in this course, if you will follow me step by step, you will be able to create this project. So when you will install Blender, this is the quite simple interface, but this is not actual interface. This is your welcome screen. So there are several options. Language, you can select your language from here, but by default we will remain it at English. So shortcuts Blender and select with left or right. We will not change them. This is default setting of the Blender. So if you want to change the theme of the Blender, you can change it from here, but by default it is dark, so we agree that. So if you want to start Blender, you can click at any place on your viewport and you can click on continue button. So when we click on continue button, there are several options. Journal, new file means we will going to make a new file, which is journal, 2D animation, sculpting, VFX, video editing. First of all, we will start from journal, because we will learn Blender in journal way. Journal, and then this is your Blender interface, so which is quite complex, which is so complex, but don't worry, I will teach you everything from basic to advanced. So this is your viewport of the Blender, and by default there will be 3 objects, one light, a cube, and a camera. So how this object will work, we will learn it from time to time. So first thing is that there is a cube and there is a light and a camera. So first of all we will delete them. How we can delete them? Only click them, only click that cube and press delete key from keyboard. And there is an other option. If you want to undo this step, means undo that, go backward from this process or from this step, you can press Ctrl Z. Ctrl Z is a universal key for undo and Ctrl Shift Z for redo. So Ctrl Shift Z means if you want to repeat or backward your step of undo, then you will press Ctrl Shift Z. Then if you want to delete this cube without pressing delete key, you will select it and then right click on it. There is an option of delete, or there is a shortcut X. We will press it. This will read. Once again undo, and then we will press X. There is an option of delete. This is shortcut key, and we will press it. It will delete. If your pointer is anywhere, you will press X. Your delete box will appear here. You can press delete key, and your cube is deleted. But this is only for the single subject. But if we want to delete all the objects in the plane at only on single click, then what we can do? Only press A button on the screen, which is all. Means select all. This will select all the objects in the viewport. If we add any other object, and there may be thousands of objects, we can select all of them by only pressing A key. So now I press A. Once again I will deselect it when I will click on the viewport, in the viewport anywhere. So I will press A button. It will select all the objects in the viewport. So now when I will press delete key, it will delete all the objects in this plane. So once I will undo this subject, now again select them and press X on the keyboard. Like one subject, in the case of all objects, there will be same function and same procedure. So press on delete, it will delete all the objects in the plane. So this was the concept of the delete, undo, redo, and selecting. So this was the concept of selecting. One thing more, I will delete them, camera and light. Now I have only one cube. You can select many things by dragging over the plane. This box will show that everything inside the box will select it. Like that, if there are 3 objects in the plane, what we can do? If we want to select all of them, only go here from this hand option. This hand option is for drag this plane. We can select this by by holding mouse button from that. So this is the left mouse button, and we can select them. Again, we can delete them. So this was the concept of the select. So select, our select command is done, and undo redo is done. Now the very important thing, how we can add any object inside Blender. Without an import, we can add our own objects in the Blender. From where we can add, there is an option of add. Exactly with the object button, there is an option of add, or there is a shortcut Shift plus A. We can do it by Shift A. There is a menu. There is a menu of adding objects. So what is mesh, curve, surface, material, text, volume? We will learn it from time to time. But for that time, we will learn add, how you can add material or text, or objects. So when we press add button, there is a menu. So see that when we press Shift A, there is also similar menu. So we can choose add option or Shift A. But when we are doing if some hard work or some complex work, we will use shortcut. So with Shift A, there is an option of firstly mesh. What is mesh? Mesh may be any object like plane, cube, circle, UV sphere, icosphere, cylinder, cone, torus. So what are these objects? We will study in later chapters. So first of all, we will add a cube like by default shape. So this is the cube that that the Blender show in default objects. So this is the cube. We can add any other object, like I will delete it by pressing delete key, Shift A, and again go to mesh. There is an option of plane. What is plane? Plane is like a shape with a single face and no any other second or third face. So there is a single plane. We can see that this is plane. We can zoom in the Blender by scrolling with the mouse wheel forward. It will zoom our scene. But if we want to zoom out, we can go forward in the mouse wheel. We can do it similar function, zoom in and zoom out, by holding this magnifying glass but magnifying lens and click on it and drag from right. When we will drag right, our scene will zoom in, and when we will drag left, our scene will zoom out. So this is the concept of zoom in and zoom out. So this is very simple. We will learn about further features. So remember that this is a basic training, and we will make you know what we will make. This is so boring, but this will help in later projects. So this is our plane. I will again delete it. I will start from a cube. Shift A, again go to mesh and cube. When you will add a cube, remember that there is a center of overall world of the Blender. These are the lines. X-axis, green line shows the y-axis, and red line shows the x-axis. What our axis means, position of the object on the world or over the plane grid. So we can move this object according to its axis. So first of all, if we want to increase the size of our object, what we can do? There are several options. The shortcut key of increase or decrease the size of the object is S, means scale. S key represents the scale button. So what we can do, if we select this cube by clicking on it or by drag on it, so it will select this cube. So if I want to increase the size of this object, what we can do? There is a simple way. We can scale it upward, and now first of all press the S key and drag it on the forward. When you will move your mouse from forward side, it will increase in size, and if you want to decrease its size, you can move it in opposite direction, means toward the object, so it will decrease in size. Now you can see our object is without any losing its original shape. So this is cube, but very similar but very small in size. What was the actual size of the object? I can show. I will add a default cube size. This is here. So it will not show because this is overside of the, because it's over the previous cube. So what we can do, we can change its position. Grab tool. Grab tool is a tool by which we can move the object from one side to another. Red line shows x-axis and y line shows y-axis. So if we press G button, we can, and if we move mouse, our object will move according to our mouse position, but this is not similar and irregular. But if we want to move this object only in one direction, backward and forward, what we can do, or control Z, we can press G, and if we want to move in x-axis, so x direction, so we can press along G with X button, and now you can see red line is highlighted, and move it from backward and forward. This will only move in backward and forward direction. Now you can easily move your mouse, but your object is only on x-axis. So now this is our previous cube. So you can imagine, you can see that what is the size difference. But if I will scale it up by pressing S key and then move it away from the cube, so it will increase in size. So this is the size of the cube. So there is a large difference in that. And now what I will do at that time, there is another thing. If we want to rotate the view, you can press the wheel of the mouse and drag your mouse from where you want to move. And there is another option. Go here, there is a directional compass. So we can, if I will select on -y axis, it will show you exactly that. You can zoom in and zoom out, but as you will click on another position, it will lose its original position. So -y, this is that. And if you want to this side of this cube, you can press on x-axis. This is exactly process in which we will make or model anything in exactly similar way. So why this? And if you want to see the top view of this object, you can press on z-axis. Z-axis is along height. So this was our concept of rotation. So this you can also rotate freely by pressing wheel on the mouse, and you can move it along any direction. So this was the concept of rotation. I told you that how we can scale up, scale down, grab, but you can not only grab it in x-axis, you can also grab it in y-axis by pressing, if we want to move it along or in green line, which is y-axis, we can press G and Y on keyboard. At the same time, G and Y, otherwise it will not work properly. So when you will press G and Y on the keyboard and drag this mouse, it will show that your object is moving along y-axis. So if you want to move it in x-axis, press G and X. It will move your object in x-axis. So similar to that, if you want to move your object in z-axis, you can see that there is another line which is not visible yet, but when we go to y-axis along, there is another line which is below. Actually it shows the height and the top corner, that C, but when we go to y-axis, there is a below line. You can see we are going to forward G and press Z. This is z-axis. It will move along z-axis. How you can see that it will move along height? This is the proof that you are now upward from this surface. You are now at the upper side from this surface, because this cube is at lower side and this cube is at a higher side. So you can move further along a z-axis from upward, downward. You can go anywhere from these options. So this was the concept of the normal viewport, and now you have understand then how we can grab, how we can scale, and now so there is other option. So if you want to move scale up your object only in one direction, like grab in x-axis, grab in y-axis, and grab in z-axis, you will apply similar rules at the scaling option. So if you want to scale your this cube in x-axis, you can press S key and X on keyboard on the same time and drag it. You will see that your cube is increasing in size along x-axis. So this was the magic of the S and X key. So there is a large difference in, and now this is our another shape of vertical. So now if I want to increase its length in y-axis, what I can do similar to that, similar like grab button, I will press S and press Y on the keyboard and drag our mouse it will there will increase its length in y-axis. If you want to increase your length of the object in z-axis, similar to grab icon, similar to grab option, press S and press C on the keyboard and then drag your mouse. It will increase your cube length in z-axis. So it was so simple. You can try it several times for your practice, but for that time it's enough. So this is enough. Now we learned about scaling and grab. This was the detailed concept you learned about grab and scale. There is nothing to tell you about more about the scaling and grabbing. So you can apply it for everything and anything. So if you want to, so next thing is to rotation. So next thing is the rotation, how we can rotate our cube or any object. For that time I will talk about the cube, how we can rotate cube. So the first thing is that select your cube and there is an option on the keyboard R key. R key represents rotation. It's so simple that R key represents rotation, S key rotates, S key represents scaling, G represents grabbing. So it will not confuse you. So you will select this object. I will read it for that time. You will select this object and press R on the keyboard, and now you have another option of the dragging. So now rotate your mouse or move your mouse in any direction. You can change the rotation, you can rotate your object in which direction you want. But again, if you want to rotate your object along any axis, that if you want to rotate your object in only x-axis, press R key and X key on the keyboard and you can rotate your object in x-axis. So this is so simple, like grab and scaling option. Now if you want to rotate your object in y-axis, this is also so simple. Press R and Y on the keyboard and rotate your object. So this is the basic concept. You can rotate any object of your phone, of your need, and according to your project and file. So this is so simple. You can also rotate your object in Z direction. This is Z direction. This is very difficult to understand that where is Z direction. You can check it by going to any straight axis. So this was the concept of rotation. Now we know that what is grabbing, what is scaling, and what is rotation. This was the concept of the basic controls of the Blender. So now we will learn about some portions of Blender. So what are the portions of Blender? The first thing, there is an toolbar. Basically it is control bar. There are controls mean move. We already discussed it. Move tool mean grabbing tool. This is also called grabbing. And there is a rotate tool. We also learn about rotate tool means R option, and we can also use it from here. But if we want to make our work more faster, we can use shortcut keys, which I already told you. So it is so simple. It will show you handles. If you want to rotate it in this direction, you can easily rotate it by pressing these. So this is so simple. If you want to scale up your object, there is an option of scale. We already learned about S key. So what is S key? Basically S key is for scaling. I already told you scaling, that scale we can also scale it from here according to these directions, green, red and blue. So this is the transformation tool. We can transform our object, or transformation basically is a whole process in which we deal with scaling up, scaling down, moving, grabbing, rotation. Like this transformation shows all tools. We can move it backward and forward. We can increase its size and decrease its size. We can also rotate it in one control, in one option. So this is so complex. We can use shortcut keys and these options separately. So like these three options are advanced. We will learn it about in next chapters. So this was the toolbar. Now this is the layer panel. These are several outliners in Blender. I will talk in general way. So this is layer panel like Photoshop and Illustrator. This is layer panels, and there are different layers like cube. When I will add any material, it will show here. And if I will add a circle, another cube, then you will see that shift A, I will add a cube. There is another cube, so now it will show another cube. I will select it, then this, and when you will see that the next cube, first cube, previous default cube is cube, and the next second cube is not 2, it is 0 0 1. And when I will add third, it will show, layer panel will show 0 0 2 cube. So I will name it, rename it by pressing on it, double click on this layer, and you can name it as second cube. So this is second cube. Now we can also select that by pressing it on layer panel. So this is the layer. There are several options, which is cube. It will show you this button, data about this cube, but this is useless for that time. We will learn in future. So there is an option of eye in the front of each layer. So what is eye? Eye means if the eye of this object is on, visible, then it will show that your object is visible in your Blender plane viewport. So how we can test it? That there is an option of eye. If I will press eye button, that you can see that eye is invisible and your object is also invisible. Unlock eye button, this will show that your object is visible in viewport. So as like a first object, we can test it on second object. This will also show that this eye button, if I will off this eye, your object is invisible in viewport, but actually it is visible in camera. So what is camera and how we can deal with it, we will learn it for further. So this is your eye concept, and this is camera option. So this is so complex for that time, but actually not so complex. For that time you will confuse in this. So now we will learn about collections. So what is collection? Collection is a group. Like if you do Photoshop, there is an option of group. You can add different object in a collection, which will help you in making a single group, which you can visible or hide. If I remember that if I will off this like arrow down up this collection, all the objects are invisible, but actually these objects are inside of this collection. There are two layers inside this collection, means below this collection. The object which will in collection represent that it will below in this collection. So how we can check that, how collection works? If I want to off these both objects, I can only off the eye of this collection, and both the objects will invisible. So if I will press on this eye button, both the objects are invisible, because these objects lies in collection. So I totally off this collection, this object will removed. So when I will on this eye, both these objects will visible. So same like this, I can hide this collection by pressing on uncheck this collection, and I can again there is an option of camera. We will learn it about in next chapters, because camera is not yet our topic, so we will learn it about for further time. So now you can see, now you can you have to know that what is collection. One thing more, we can add different selection collection for the more collections by pressing on this button. So there is another collection we can add further more collection. So this is your collection. Now this is your new collection. If I want to put this cube into second collection, I will click on this cube and layer, and will drag and go upside of this collection and release here. Now you will see that your cube is inside here, and now if you want to again move second object in this collection, you can again go here and drag and drop it in this collection. So now you have this collection. There are two objects in this collection, it will show here. So now this collection is empty. So this was the concept of collection and layers. What these objects, we will learn about it in further. So now you can see, you can search for any other layer by typing, if there are many layers, you can search by name in this search box. So now you can also filter by pressing these options. So what are these options, we will learn it in further cases. So now the third part of our Blender screen is this property panel, which is another outliner. So again, there is a property panel and there is a outliner. So this property panel tells us about the properties of these objects. If I will select this, now go, if you want to see the properties, there is an option of property object. Remember that in these tools there is an option of object. When we will select it, it will show the properties of this object. Means like property location of this property is 0m, means it is at this object is at its original location, but this is not at its original location. So now if I want to change any property of this object, I can change it from by putting any value here. This is scaling option. There are scaling option here. Scale, what is size means scale, rotation, location mean grabbing. So but if I will select this object, all the properties are disturbed because we did many things from this object. For every experiment we use it, so its properties are must disturb, so are disturbed. So how we can reset these properties and values? Only go here, object, and for that go apply, and apply here all transformation. Again, go here, select your object for which you want to reset these transformations, go to object, and here is an option of apply. Go here, apply, and there is an option of all transformation. Click that, and these all transformation will become reset, and like this fresh object. And remember that for that position, only for that position. But if I will go, if I will move it, its properties will change it. Means we can only reset its options, only its properties for according to its present condition, not for original default location. This is the reset position for that. If I will grab it in x-axis, this is 0, but when I will 0 it will not move for its default location of the Blender. It will move it to its assigning position, means at which I apply our transformations. I will 0 it will move its position. It's so amazing. So but when I will move it in x direction, and now I will press 0, it will move it to original location, which is already by default where I applied transformation. There are default transformation. So this was the concept of properties. There are many other property, data transformation, relations, collections. So these are complex. We will learn it in future step by step. So this was the concept of properties, outliner, and toolbar. So there are different options of there are tools, move, orientation, and drag, like we already discussed that tools. So there is an option of render. What is render means? If you use Premiere Pro, After Effects, there is an option of rendering or exporting. When we make our video, we will export it in MP4 or PNG, any other format, alpha channel or RGB. So we will choose it here. So there are two types of engine which render our video. One is EV, and second one most common is cycles. So what is cycles and what is EV? They are both rendering engine, and means Blender take render of our video which we will make. How we will make video, we will see it in final project. EV is the rendering engine. Cycles is also rendering engine. EV looks much at lower quality than cycles. So this is rendering engine. Here we can add some blooms, ambient options, and depth of the field. These are the various complex options, but for that time this is rendering tab, and this is the output tab. Here we can set our output settings, mean, frame and resolution, aspect ratio of our video output, where we want to place our output video. So and next to that there is an option of view layer. So these are scenes, how we can set up our scenes, world, HDRI. If we want to add any HDRI in our screen, we can add from here. Don't worry, I will tell everything about Blender in detail when we make a final project, but in this chapter we want to discuss basic, which I told. So this is our collection. We already learned about collection, but these are some different line art, include usage. So now again, these are properties, modifier. What are modifiers? Most important thing in the Blender and modeling. These are modifiers. We will learn different modifiers. We will use different modifiers in whole Blender journey from time to time. So we can add different modifier and can use and different from by search. There is an option of particles. We can do particle system. Many of objects use particle system, and based on particles in Blender, which is already present inside Blender. There is an option of physics. We can do gravity, rigid, soft body, active body. From here there is an option of constraints, and constraints. After constraint there is option of data and materials. So there is an option of texture. We can apply textures. We can make our own custom materials. So this was the concept of outliner, outline property panel. So now we have understand our basic interface of the Blender. This was the chapter 1, but in chapter 2 we will learn about further more hidden options in the Blender, which will sculpting and modeling. We will learn modeling in chapter 2, which was so amazing. So if you don't yet subscribe my channel, subscribe early and join my Blender journey. You will learn many things and everything from this course. So don't forget to subscribe and press bell icon early. Thank you.